was our national anthem. We thank you. We'll mention. Good day and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you to today's education based Indiana High School Athletic Association Varsity Boys Baseball. This radio coverage is made possible through audiosportsonline.net. That's ASO, that's Rob Kendall. Rob Kendall. You can visit with him weekday mornings from 10 a.m. Check that. From 9 a.m. to 12 noon. It started at the 9 a.m. An extra hour started last week. Rob Kendall. You can see him on the robkendallshow.com. That's robkendallshow.com. You'll enjoy Rob right here on the Rob Kendall Show. So they're getting ready to play some baseball. Knights and the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles. So baseball here on a Saturday night. This is going to be the fourth game of the evening. I should say the day. And it was supposed to start about 6:30, but you can't control baseball. There's no way. On a dime, you cannot have baseball on a dime unless you're doing a youth program and you have a time limit. But no time limit in high school baseball. We'll mention happening tonight. Central Catholic going to be the home team. We're playing at Lafayette Central Catholic High School. There's going to be three umpires on the system. And I will mention the pitcher for Central Catholic is Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke wears number 14. He's getting warmed up right now on the pitcher's rubber. We'll mention Jonah Gerke on the season. He pitched in 21 and 2/3 innings. This is game appearance number 8. This is game start number 6. He has faced 100 batters this season, 356 pitches, 3 wins, 2 losses. He's given up 15 hits. He's given up 2 runs. And we'll mention he had struck out 21 batters. 4 of those batters went down looking. And he's on the pitcher's rubber right now. Around the diamond for Central Catholic, doing the catching, number 34, Isaiah Hopkins. At first base, number 21, Caden Keller. At second base, number 11, Mikey Stapleton. At shortstop, number 3, L.J. Whitford. At third base, number 12, Alex Schumer. In left field, number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. In center field, number 2, Boy Gick. And in right field, number 31, Vince Talenker. Gus Sandberg will be the DH. He will bat in place of defensive player Vince Talenko. Stepping in, first batter, number 4, Nolan Ratcliffe, third baseman. First pitch from Gerke. He'll take a shot to left field. It's going to back up, going to get over the head. One hop against the wall. You're going to try to get to second base. Thought about a slide, didn't need to. First pitch of the ball game, 2-base hit to left field off the wall. Nolan Ratcliffe. So Ratcliffe is aboard at second base. Next batter to step in, going to be a left-handed batter, 2-hitter. That's number 12, Ben Canada. He'll play second base. So left-handed batter steps in. Here and in, looking at signals, working out a stretch. Now the set, he'll check second base. Check it again. Here's the pitch. Backdoor curveball misses low. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Just beginning. Scheduled for 7 innings. Lights are on. We'll play to the duration. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Jonah Gerke. Check second base. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Guerin Catholic runner at second base. That's the leadoff batter, Nolan Ratcliffe. 2-base hit. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Now the set position. Gerke checks second base. Here's the pitch. Swung on, he'll foul it out of play. The other way. He'll go left side, way out of play. It'll get the tree line. They won't retrieve that baseball. Count goes 2-1 to Ben Canada. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Now the set position. Jonah Gerke, he'll check second base. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Three balls, one strike. Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles wearing the purple jersey and the white pants. Knight's going with the white uniform, blue sock, and the white hat. Here comes the 3-1 pitch to Canada. Swung on, ground ball. Second base, gloves it. Mikey Stapleton goes to first base. They get the first out here in the top of the first. And Nolan Ratcliffe moves over to third base. So Ratcliffe at third base, stepping in, we're going to see the three-hitter, Ian Taylor. Ian Taylor, I understand, earlier this afternoon, home run, three-run homer, broke the tie, went up 4-1 in that earlier game versus South Bend St. Joe. First pitch, breaking pitch in there for a strike. No balls, one strike. 1 foot in, 1 foot out, looking for signals. Signals not given. Coach Schrag got to visit with him before the game. What a kind gentleman. Second pitch to Ian Taylor. Good block there. Breaking pitch. Hits the dirt, and a good block by Isaiah Hopkins. So stepping in front of him, it went down the first baseline. Picked up by Jonah. No activity from Nolan Ratcliffe trying to take home plates. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ian Taylor, the three-hitter, he wears number 3. Alva said, here comes the pitch. And the block right there, another good block on a breaking pitch in the dirt. Isaiah Hopkins saving a couple runs. That one there was definitely a save. What a block. And Ratcliffe back to third base. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ian Taylor in the batter's box. Right-handed batter. Here and in. Looking at the signal. Out of stretch. Now the set. Jonah Gerke. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, foul ball. Off the dirt and then off his leg right there in that right-handed batter's box. Home plate umpire calls foul ball immediately. Count goes even at 2-2. So Ian Taylor going to try to take that off. He'll step back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's 1 out. Top of the first inning. Guerin Catholic, Nolan Ratcliffe, the runner at third base. Peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. It's going to get through the hole. No, going to be a block right there. Got a glove on it. Held the ball up. Stopped the baseball. He laid out for it. That was L.J. Witt. And it's going to be an RBI and an infield hit off the bat of Ian Taylor. So coming in and score, first run of the ball game, Nolan Ratcliffe. Stepping in for Guerin Catholic, going to be the 4-hitter, number 11, Carson Cale. Carson Cale is the catcher. The runner at first base is Ian Taylor. Still 1 out of set position. Here's the pitch, swung on, foul ball. They'll pull that severely from that right-handed batter's box over to third base dugout. It's where Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles are residing. So stepping in, step back in, no balls, 1 strike. Just a modest lead by Ian Taylor at first base. Out of the set position, Jonah Gerke. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Looking at signal. Coach Schrag, third base coach. Stepping back in. 4-hitter, Carson Cale. Out of the set position. Jonah Gerke. Just step off the back. Fake a throw to first base. 1-1 count, 1 out. So back in the rubber, working from the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. He'll take a shot. It's going to be a foul ball down the left field. Going to go over in the corner. Got around on that one also. Taking off for second base there was Ian Taylor. He'll jog back to first. So 1-2 count to the 4-hitter for Guerin Catholic. That's number 11, Carson Cale, the catcher. So 1-2 count, 1 out. Runner at first base, 1 run in here in the top of the first for Guerin Catholic. Now the set, here's the pitch. Swung on, he go back up the middle, going to be a base hit. About 3 bounces going to be picked up by Coy Gick. He'll make the throw to third base. It was on time, on line, coming around. Now at third base is Ian Taylor. So a two-base hit off the bat of Carson Kale. He's the catcher. He'll give way to a courtesy runner. Jogging out is number 8, Brody Kane. Brody Kane, he's a junior class member. And runners at second and third base for the Golden Eagles. So stepping in, another right-handed batter for Guerin Catholic, number 10, Carson Smith. He's the shortstop. Way back there on the chalk, back of the box. Now the stretch, now the set position. Jonah Gerke, here's the pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. Nice placement on the breaking pitch by Jonah. Count goes 0-1. We're stepping back in the box, Carson Smith. 2 runners aboard. Second and third base for Guerin Catholic. There's 1 out. Top of the first. Pitch comes in outside of ball. A backhand block there. Short hop. Nice block again by Isaiah Hopkins. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Taps the plate. Right-handed batter. Carson Smith. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Strike called. Going to call that a strike outside edge. Carson Smith. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He'll step back in. Peering in, looking at signal. Out of the stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Smith. Swung on, swing and a miss. Drop third strike. First base is open. Ball gets by. It's in the dirt. Probably going to be a wild pitch. Ball ends up out in front of the Guerin Catholic dugout. Run comes in to score. Scoring a second run here in the top of the first is Ian Taylor. So Guerin Catholic now have runners on the corners. Timeout on the diamond. Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out, talk with his infield. And while he does that, we'll mention a little bit about each school. First, we'll mention Guerin Catholic, the Golden Eagles. They have a school enrollment of 801. Their school was founded back in 2004. They played their very first basketball season in 2006. And Pete Smith took over that operation. He went 12 years. Pete Smith, he got 2 state titles. Class 3A, 1 in 2011 and 12. They went 24-5. Guerin Catholic defeated Norwell 64-48. Then he got his second state title, Class 3A, 2014-15. Guerin Catholic defeated Griffith 62-56. And we'll take up right there where we left off. And stepping in to bat for Guerin Catholic, number 17, 6-hitter, Grant Beard. He plays left field. So runners on the corners, first and third base. There's 1 out. Top of the first inning. 2 runs in for Guerin Catholic. Peering in, looking at singles, out of stretch. Jonah Gerke. Long peer. Now out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. A little bit of bullpen activity on the right field line. Peering in, looking at signal. Jonah Gerke out of the set. He's second, first base. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. All right, up the middle. Going to be right up the middle over second base. A base hit. In the center field, Coy Dick going to toss it in. And it's going to be a base hit and an RBI off the bat of Grant Beard. So still 2 aboard, first and third base. Coming in to score. Right there, Guerin Catholic. Double check there. That might have been. Anyway, Guerin Catholic comes in to score. It's a 3-0 contest here in the top of the first. Stepping into bat, 7-hitter, number 23, Luke Grimmelspacher. Luke Grimmelspacher, I remember he had a brother, has graduated, doing a couple of his games. Out of the set position, Jonah Gerke. 1 out, here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in, outside edge, called strike. So no balls, 1 strike. Grimmelsbacher looking for signal. None given by Coach Schrag. Working out a stretch, now the set position. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Good block right there by Isaiah Hopkins. Isaiah Hopkins is busy here in the top of the first. We're going to trade baseballs. Dirt in the steam doesn't make it easy to throw a curveball. It's not weighted properly. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Stepping back in, Luke Grimmelsbacher. Here and in, looking for signals out of stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, ground ball, shortstop. Good hop there for L.J. Whitford. That's right for a double play. They're going to call him safe. They're going to say Caden Keller foot was off the base. They're going to say it was off the base. So they're going to get the out at second base. Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out. Try to ask for an explanation. And that might have been a home plate umpire's call. Did he see space there? He's right up the line. And home plate umpire, I think the A position umpire is going to come over and talk to the home plate umpire. And home plate umpire might have saw some space there, and maybe he didn't. So if he's on the base, then you'll see no space. If there's a gap there, the home plate umpire, that's his call. So they can change it if it's necessary. If it's not necessary, they will not. So they're going to call him safe. Safe at first. Run comes in. 4th run for Guerin Catholic here in the top of the first. So runner at first base is Luke Grimmelsbacher. They get the force out at second. Grimmelsbacher has a fielder's choice in the scorebook. So 2 outs stepping in for Guerin Catholic. 8-hitter number 9, Bryce Kissel. Bryce Kissel batting in place of Harrison Hogg, the pitcher. Out of set, here comes the pitch. Checks his swing. It's a called strike. Verbal call is a called strike. No check swing. So no balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. Bryce Kissel, the batter's box. Where's number 9? He is the DH. Pitch comes in. Out of play. Count goes 0-2 to Kissel. Another right-handed batter. Bryce Kissel. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Golden Eagles have 4 runs in here in the top of the first. Out of set position. Jonah Gerke, here's the pitch. Strike called, outside edge. He'll go down looking. And the Knights get out of the jam, but not before. Guerin Catholic puts 4 runs on the board in the top of the first. Guerin Catholic leave 1 runner on first base. It's Grimmelsbacher. And the Knights are going to bat in the bottom of the first inning. We'll finish this up. We'll mention Guerin Catholic. Golden Eagles, they're Class 3A. Sectional 25. There are 7 in their sectional. Their sectional will happen in Crawfordsville High School on Wednesday, Thursday, Monday. On Wednesday, the 27th of May, there'll be 1 game. Brebeuf Jesuit and Tri-West. That'll be a 6 o'clock start. And then on Thursday, the 28th, there'll be 2 games. Frankfort in Crawfordsville. That'll be a 5:30 start. Then Danville and Guerin Catholic projected to be a 7:45 start. And then on Monday, Lebanon in the morning at 11 a.m. They will go against either Brebeuf or Tri-West. And then they'll try to get to the final game. Final game is going to be June the 1st, 6:30 p.m. That's championship. And we'll mention Guerin Catholic High School is located at 15300 Gray Road, Noblesville, Indiana, 46062. You can dial them at 317-582-0120. On the web, it's GuerinCatholicSports.org. They wear the collars purple and gold. They perform in the Circle City Conference. There are 4 teams. In that conference, they are Brebeuf Jesuit, Guerin Catholic, Bishop Chittard, Roncalli. We'll mention the principal at Guerin Catholic. It's Christine Williams. The athletic director is Ryan Davis. The assistant AD is Deb Stannis. She was most instrumental for putting me in sports. The athletic trainer is Abigail Rumor. And we'll also mention Alfie Hernandez. We'll remind you that the Golden Eagles are currently 16, 2, and 1. They did have one tie, and that was against Avon. It was a weird situation of how that happened. I heard the story. It takes too long for me to tell it right here. Guerin Catholic 5-1. They're first place in the Circle City Conference. And their next game will be this coming Wednesday, the 13th, 5:30 start. Guerin Catholic will be at the Lapel Bulldogs. On the pitcher's rubber for Guerin Catholic, that's number 7. Number 7, Harrison Hawk. We'll mention he's got an ERA of 2.21. He's pitched in 12 and 2/3 innings. He's got a win-loss ratio of 2 wins, no losses. This is appearance number 7. He's given up 5 hits. He's given up 6 runs. 4 of those runs were earned. He has walked 13 batters. He has struck out 18. He's faced 57 batters, and he's thrown a total of 239 pitches. So jogging out, Carson Kale having some final words there with Harrison Hawk. Harrison Hawk, as mentioned, wears number 7, a member of the senior class. So stepping in for the Knights, first batter, Isaiah Hopkins. Isaiah Hopkins is the catcher. Wears number 34, right-handed batter for the Knights. Working out a stretch. Here comes a pitch from Hawk. Down meridian, fastball, knee high, called strike. Hawk is going to pitch from the stretch. He must be viewed primarily as a relief pitcher. Second pitch comes in tight. Had to get out of the way. Count goes 1-1. Right-handed batter, Isaiah Hopkins. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Isaiah Hopkins, first batter in the lineup for the Central Catholic Knight. Looking over the glove. Here comes the wide. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Foul ball. Going to go down the left field line. It's actually going to end up in the bullpen area. Left field. Isaiah Hopkins got around that on that one in a hurry. So again, he'll face a 1-2 count, step back in. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Low, outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. L.J. Whitford is on deck for the night. Straightaway stance, Isaiah Hopkins. Working out a set. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Hawk. Swung on, going to foul this one. Back out of play. We'll stay in the box. That 1-2 count. I'll take that back. The 2-2 count for Isaiah Hopkins. So first batter in the lineups, Central Catholic. Isaiah Hopkins showing a lot of pitches to his dugout. Out of the windup, here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on, he's going to pop one a long way foul. Got around it pretty good. And that ball likely would have been over the fence had it been fair. So he'll accept another 2-2 count. Isaiah Hopkins. So peering in, out of stretch. Now the set position. Harrison Hawk. Here comes the pitch. You're going to take it the other way. It's going to drop in a fair ball just inside the line. 40 feet behind the grass, behind first base. So he pulls it. Foul ball, foul ball, foul ball. And then he takes it the other way and drops it in for a base hit. So one aboard for Central Catholic. Isaiah Hopkins. Coach Bourdonnais likes for him to run the bases. He's a good base runner. Stepping in, L.J. Whitford, another right-handed batter for the Knights. So nobody out, runner aboard. First base is Hopkins. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. Good slide right there by catcher Carson Kale. Get that ball in front of him on the breaking pitch. We'll go around the infield here in a moment with the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagle. One ball, no strike. Alice said, here comes the pitch. Outside and low. Another good block by Carson Kale. Short hop kept it in front of him. Isaiah Hopkins reading the dirt took off for second base. He's there now. Still nobody out. Second battery for the Knights here in the top of the first inning. The 4-0 contest. Guerin Catholic got 4 in the top of the first. Out of step position. Harrison Hawk, here's the pitch. Healthy cut, swing and a miss. That goes 2-1 to L.J. Whitford. Signals given. Coach Borden, third base coach. Crooked lead there at second base. Makes it look like a shorter distance from the pitcher's view. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball. Fastball, probably in the 80s. And coming right out of his crouch right there was Carson Kale to catch that baseball in a heartbeat. 3 balls, 1 strike to L.J. Whitford. Knights have a runner at second base. It's Isaiah Hop. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, foul ball, right side, out of play. So what, this evening couldn't be any better. There's no wind, very little wind. They've got the infield sprayed down. Coach Borden did that, and it's nice and a good atmosphere. Going to be the nicest day of the week for the next 7 days. Alice said, here comes a 3-2 pitch. Right across the dish. He's going to let it go by, strike 3. So L.J. Whitford will walk to the dugout, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. So the Knights are going to step in with number 12. That's Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer leads the team in the hit department. We'll talk about that second time through the lineup. So working from a stretch, peering in, looking at signals, now out of the set position. Harrison Hawk, here's the pitch. Right across the ditch, strike called. Alex Schumer wanted to see a pitch. He'll step back in. He's a left-handed batter, senior class member. Working out a stretch, now the set. Check second base, here's the pitch. Right down meridian, just below the kneecap, strike 2, called strike. He'll step back in. He's back there at the back of the box there with his left foot. So peering in, looking at signals. Harrison Hawk out of the set. He'll check second base. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Nope, they're going to step off the back. Pirouette, step towards second, but not make a throw. No balls, 2 strikes. Isaiah Hopkins at second base for the Knights. Peering in, looking at signals. Harrison Hawk now out of the set position. He'll check second base. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Schumer. Gonna call time. Schumer calls time. Left-handed batter's box. A lot of concentration time for Schumer. And taking some time out of the set position to make the pitch was Harrison Hawk. Timeout was granted to Schumer. So steps back in. Ball's live out of the set position. Harrison Hawk checks second base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and he'll go down swinging. And there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Knight's going to send to the plate. Designated hitter, he wears number 30. 4-hitter, Gus Sandberg. Gus Sandberg is batting in place of Vince Talenko. Talenko wears 31. He's playing right field in today's ball game. Out of the set. Here comes the first pitch to Sandberg. Strike called, outside edge. No balls, 1 strike. Sandberg steps back in. 2 outs, bottom of the first inning. Knights have a runner at second base, Isaiah Hopkins. Out of the set, he'll check second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Infield playing regular depth. I will say shortstop Carson Smith may be shading towards second base just a bit. So pretty good hole there between third and shortstop for Gus Sandberg. No balls, 2 strikes. Out of the set. Here's the pitch. Above the zone, ball one. 1 ball, 2 strike. Harrison Hawk. Pretty good sized young man. Harrison Hawk, member of the senior class. Working out at stretch. Peering in, looking at signal. Time call. Gus Sandberg. Concentration time. I tell you what, when you're getting ready to face an 80-plus mile per hour fastball, you don't want to stare at the pitcher that long. No timeout was granted. Time back in, working out a stretch. Now the set position. Hawk. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Nope, he's going to step towards the second base and not make a throw. So no teammate there. No Guerin Catholic middle infielder was going to take the throw. They're in regular position. Peering in, looking at signal. Out of the stretch. Now the set position. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. We got Sandberg. Swung on in the glove. Strike 3. He'll go down swinging. The Knights leave 1 aboard. Isaiah Hopkins at second base. Knights come up with no runs in the bottom of the first inning. And at the end of 1, Guerin Catholic 4, Central Catholic 0. And we'll talk a little bit about Central Catholic High School. Central Catholic High School, they have a school enrollment of 302. They're in Class 2A, Sectional 37. There are 7 in their sectional. Their sectional will take place at North Montgomery High School, May 27th through June the 1st. Game 1 will be Rensselaer Central and Western Boone. And then Central Catholic Knights will play the winner of that game. Central Catholic will play on Saturday, the 30th. And that'll be a 1 o'clock game. And we'll also mention in game 2, it'll be Delphi and Benton Central. Game 3 will be Seeger and North Montgomery. Of those 2 winners, they'll come back and play Saturday afternoon. It might be the 11 o'clock start. But anyway, that's the 7 teams right there in the North Montgomery sectional. We'll mention the principal at Central Catholic is Dan Charleboy. The athletic director is Tim Bourdonnais. The assistant AD is Charlie Roberts. The athletic trainer is Sarah Igo. Central Catholic High School is located at 2410 South 9th Street, Lafayette, Indiana. 47909. You can reach them by phone, 765-474-2496. On the web, it's lccathletic.com. There were the colors, navy and white. We'll catch that up in just a minute. Stepping in, top of the second inning. Number 5, Liam Zorger, right fielder, batting in the 9th spot. First pitch from Gerke. Outside, ball 1. In on the lip of the grass at third base is Alex Schumer for the night. Left-handed batter, Liam Zorger. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Inside, ball 2. So 2 balls, no strikes. He'll step back in. A little bit of an open stance for the 9-hitter, number 5, Liam Zorger. Here comes the wind and the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, base hit. Going to get the grass, going to go on into right field, right in the hole there. And a base hit for the 9-hitter, Liam Zorger. Timeout on the diamond. Coach Bourdonnais going to walk out, going to talk with his infield. And we'll finish this up. We'll mention Hoosier Athletic Conference. It's where LCC performs in. There are 9 teams. Those 9 teams stack up like this for baseball season this spring. Western, Lafayette Central Catholic, Wynn Lake, Logansport, Benton Central, West Lafayette, Hamilton Heights, Tipton, Rensselaer Central. So they're going to make a pitching change. We're going to see Gus Sandberg jog in, take some warm-up tosses. And I will mention Lafayette Central Catholic Knights currently on the season, 14-8. So they'll work from there. I should say 15-4. 15-4. I don't know where I got the 8. 15-4 presently. They got the win earlier today versus versus um, Fort Wayne, the Lures. Central Catholic 7-1. They have finished their Hoosier Conference West Division. Central Catholic have 5 wins, no losses here at home. 6-4 on the road. They're 2-0 on a neutral site. The head coach for Central Catholic Knights is Tim Bourdonnais. Tim Bourdonnais is a 1987 graduate from Central Catholic. And they're getting some warm-up tosses right now around the pitcher's mound right there, the infield. Making Gus Sandberg feel pretty warm there with his teammates around. We'll mention Gus Sandberg presently on the season, 21 and 2/3 innings under his belt. This is game appearance number 7. He does have 2 starts, and he has faced 88 batters. He's thrown a total of 274 pitches, 2 wins, 1 loss on the season. He's given up 11 hits. He's given up 4 runs. Only 2 of those runs were earned. He has struck out 15 batters. 5 of those batters went down looking. It's on the pitcher's rubber now. And the infield umpire gives him a little brief, lets him know that there's one on base at first base, nobody out. And going to be a brand new batter at the plate. It's going to be the one hitter again, leadoff batter in this game. Nolan Ratcliffe started this game with a 2-base hit. So we'll step in. Nolan Ratcliffe played in 18 games, 70 plate appearances, 54 at bat. At first pitch from Sandberg. Get him put a bunt down. Back to Sandberg. He'll bare hand try to field it. And couldn't get the grasp on the baseball. And safe at first base is Nolan Ratcliffe. So Guerin Catholic have 2 aboard, first and second base. So stepping in, going to be number 12, Ben Canada, second baseman. Ben Canada, he's played in 17 games, 67 plate appearances, 58 at bats. He's batting .431. I am -1 game on my stats for Guerin Catholic's 130 contest this afternoon. Out of set, here's the pitch. Canada, good block there by Isaiah Hopkins. Kept it laterally to him. No base movement. So 1 ball, no strike. And after a new baseball, and I'm never denied. So home plate umpire hardly ever declines an opportunity to give a new baseball once you ask politely. So stepping back in, 1 ball, no strikes. Ben Canada. Runners at first and second. Out of set, check second base. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Top of the second inning. Nobody out. Runners at first and second base for the Golden Eagles. Here and in, looking at things. Out of stretch. Now the set position. Check second base. Here comes a 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Going to be a snap throw to second base by Hopkins. And had to get back in a hurry. Ball caroms off. Goes into very shallow center field. Picked up there by Mikey Stapleton. 2 balls, 1 strike to Ben Canada. Step back in. 2-hitter for Guerin Catholic. Here and in, looking at signals. Out of stretch. Gus Sandberg. Long pier. Now out of the set position. He'll check second base. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Swung on, base hit. Right there in the hole, second and first base on the ground goes into right field. It's going to be an RBI single off the bat of Ben Canada. Coming in to score is Liam Zorger. And Guerin Catholic has 1 run here in the top of the second. So Guerin Catholic, 2 runners aboard, first and third base. Nobody out. Stepping into bat, we're going to see the 3-hitter. Ian Taylor, the 3-hitter for Guerin Catholic. He's played in all 18 games. He's played 19, actually. 71 plate appearances. 48 at bats. He's batting an even .500. in that right-handed batter's box. Out of set, pickoff move, first base nonchalant. Back safely is Canada. Ian Taylor, 648 on base average. And then Ian Taylor, 25 hits, 11 singles, 4 doubles, 2 triples, and now 8 home runs. Pickoff move, a little bit quicker. Good move there by Gus Sandberg. Back safely is Canada. So runners on the corners. Nobody out. Stepping back in, Ian Taylor. Ian Taylor, a member of the senior class. Out of set position. Sandberg, here's the pitch. Pitch comes in outside half. Strike called. The no balls, 1 strike. Ian Taylor. Step back in, a little bit of an open stance. A right-handed batter's box. Out of set position, Gus Sandberg. Here comes a pickoff move again, first base. Back safely. So no balls, 1 strike. Trying to keep Ian Taylor just off balance here. 3 pickoff throws over to first base. Canada out of set. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in. Thigh high. Right down the middle. It's called strike. Count goes 0-2 to Ian Taylor. Let's step back in. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 aboard for Guerin Catholic, first and third. And Gus Sandberg steps off the back. Trying to get their signals dialed out and just ironed out, dialed in. So back in the rub, working from the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the 0-2. Outside and tall. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 foot in the box, 1 foot out. Coach Schrag, several signals given. Will we see Ben Canada on his horse from first to second? Out of set position. Sandberg. Here comes the 1-2. Breaking pitch finished just above the zone. Slow curveball. Count goes 1-2. 2-2 to Ian Taylor. Ian Taylor steps back in. Runners at first and third base. Nobody out. We're going to stretch. Now the set. Gus Sandberg. Here's the pitch. Swing and miss. And Ian Taylor will go down swinging. And there's 1 out here in the top of the second inning. So stepping in for Guerin Catholic, number 11. He's the catcher, Carson Hale. Carson Hale on the season. He played in 17 games. He was a 17-game stat. 62 plate appearances. 38 at bat. That's a pretty patient hitter. Pickoff move, first base, back safely. In Canada. So Carson Hale batting .553 in that right-handed batter's box. Out of set. Sandberg, here's the pitch. Pitch comes in, strike called. No balls, 1 strike to Hale. Hale, his on-base percentage is .694. He got 21 hits on the season. Out of set. Sandberg, here comes the 0-1 pitch. Nope, he'll step off the back. So no balls, 1 strike, steps back in. Tearing in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch. Inside a ball. Carson Hale. 1 ball, 1 strike. Several signals given by Coach Schrag, third base coach. Carson Hale has 11 singles, 6 doubles. He has 4 home runs. I will say this, I'll get this out of the way. Guerin Catholic on the season, 27 home runs collectively. Out of set, here's the pitch taken off for second base. It's Canada. They'll throw to second. They'll get the out, but they'll give up the run at home plate. So they get the out. They get Canada trying to steal second. Coming in from third base, scoring at the plate, number 4, Nolan Radcliffe. So 2 runs in here in the top of the second inning. It's a 6-0 contest with 2 outs. Outside edge, striking him out. Outside edge, he'll go down looking. And the Knights get out of the jam. They give up 2 runs in the top of the 6th. So After 1.5, Guerin Catholic 6, Central Catholic 0. And the Knights are going to bat here in the bottom of the second inning. We'll mention this game is in part being brought to you by Fritz and Fishers. Fritz and Fishers, that's not too far away from Gray Road. That's right there on 32. You can hit a home run with a car from Fritz and Fishers. Fritz is knocking it out of the park with great deals this summer. So slide on in and get a deal. You will be safe for sure at Fritz and Fishers. That's fritzandfishers.com, FRITZ. Also, bringing you this contest is McCormick Printing and Office Supply. Hey, baseball fans, let's give a cheer for one of our amazing local sponsors. That's McCormick Printing Impressions and Office Supplies. For more than 5 decades, MPI has been the go-to place for everything printed. That's posters, programs, shirts, and whatnot. And all of the office supplies you could ever need. Family owned, community minded, and always ready to help you knock your next project out of the park. That's McCormick Printing Impressions, where quality and service are always a home run. So stepping in for the Knights, going to be number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Mikey Stapleton, right-handed batter. That's in the 5 spot for Central Catholic. Back out on the pitcher's rubber, Harrison Hawk wears number 7. So he'll work from the stretch with nobody on. Here comes the pitch. High, tight, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Stapleton going to step back in. Here comes the wind. They're going to stop him. He's trying to pitch a little bit quick. Mikey Stapleton wasn't quite ready in that right-handed batter's box. Home plate umpire, he's on everybody's side. Well done. So 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the second pitch. High and tight again. Mikey avoids getting hit by pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-0 count. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Hawk. And above did get him there. Going to get him on the helmet. So all 3 pitches were very close. And the third one did get him. Mikey Stapleton got him on the helmet. But Harrison Hawk is bringing the fastball. So Mikey Stapleton now at first base. He gets hit by pitch for the 5th time this season. So 1 aboard, nobody out. Stepping in for the night, it's going to be number 21, Caden Keller. Caden Keller played first base in this game. First pitch from Hawk, swing and a miss. Fastball, no balls, 1 strike. Caden Keller. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Signals given by Coach Boardman. Working out a stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Going to call that a strike. Going to call that on the outside edge. No balls, 2 strikes. And Hawk just got away with a balk. They did catch it. They throw to first base on a pickoff move. Hawk had his right foot on the rubber, and he tossed the ball up with that right hand and then caught it. That simulates a pitch. A pitch has to go across one of the foul lines to constitute an actual pitch. And if it doesn't go over a foul line, then it's a balk. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. Caden Keller out of the set position. Harrison Hawk, here's the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. So a 1-2 count again. Number 21, Caden Keller. Runner aboard at first base for the Knights is Mikey Stapleton. 1 ball, 2 strike. Working out the stretch, peering in, looking at signal. His catcher, Carson Kale, out of the set position. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. So go down swinging, and there's one out here in the bottom of the second inning. So the Knights are going to send to the plate number 41. That's Brennan Van Kirk. Brennan Van Kirk, left fielder. You probably never find a better left fielder than a Brennan Van Kirk last year and this year. We stepped in, right-handed batter. We're going to have a stretch, now a set. Pickoff move. First base was close. Got back safely. Head first slide. Safe at first is Mikey Stapleton. Now the stretch, now the set. Harrison Hawk. Pickoff move again, back safely. Watching that back heel. Watching that back heel of Hawk, a right-handed pitcher. Now the set, here's the pitch. Swung on, foul ball. Back to the screen. So no balls, one strike. 1 foot in the box, 1 foot out of the box. You'll look for signals. Signals given by Coach Bourdonnais. Mikey Stapleton on the season has 4 stolen bases. Boy Dick has 11. Out of set, here comes the pitch. High, well out of the zone. Count goes 2-1. Well, he'll step back in. Right-handed batter. Maybe a 1-1 count. I might have missed that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Out of set. Harrison Hawk. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes as the night sets in. And he's tossing that ball up again with his right foot on the rub. Huh. Working out a stretch. Now the set position. Harrison Hawk. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Going to call him out on strike. Going to say it got the outside edge. So he'll jog back to the dugout, and there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. Mikey Stapleton still at first base, stepping into bat for the night. Number 14, Jonah Guerin. Looking out a stretch, now the set position. Left-handed batter, here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Signals given. Coach Bourdonnais at third base. Stepping back in, Jonah Guerin. Working out a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch from Hawk. High above the zone, ball 2. 2 balls, no strike. Boy Dick is on deck for the night. 2 out. Going to get some rosin bag there. Step off the back of the rubber. Kind of regather himself. Now step back in the rubber. It's Harrison Hawk. Harrison Hawk still tossing that baseball up. Anyway, 2 balls, no strike to Jonah Guerin. Alice Stad. Here comes the pitch. You call that a strike, outside edge. So trying to paint the corners, they call them corners. I think they're edges. The baseball going vertical to an edge. Alice said, here comes a 2-1 pitch. I'm going to call that a strike on the inside edge. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Stepping back in the rubber. There he did it, flipping the balls right. But anyway, they'll talk to him about that after they hear the broadcast, I'm sure. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. They'll go down swinging. And the Knights are out of the inning. The Knights leave 1 on board. They leave Mikey Stapleton at first base. Knights come up with no runs. The bottom of the second inning. After 2 complete. Guerin Catholic, 6. Central Catholic, 0. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by the Ultimate Kentucky Getaway. You can escape to a one-of-a-kind retreat in the heart of the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, where rolling hills, world-famous distilleries, and unforgettable memories await. Welcome to your 6-bedroom estate set on 7 scenic acres of peaceful countryside. Spend your days exploring legendary bourbon stops, Then come home to unwind in the hot tub under the stars. You can challenge your friends to a game of pool on the billiards table. You can practice your swing on the putting green or relax by the fire pit as the night sets in. Whether you're having a bourbon weekend, family gathering, or group getaway, there's space and something for everyone. No crowd, no stress, just comfort and connection. A spirit of Kentucky. For questions and bookings, text 317 442 7513. First pitch, breaking pitch from Sandberg in there for a strike. 0-1 count to the five hitter, number 10, Carson Smith. Carson Smith, the shortstop, in 17 games, 61 plate appearances, 51 at bat. Here comes the pitch. He'll take a shot to the left center. Got some air under it, and Brendan Van Kirk runs a long way and makes the catch. There's one out here in the top of the third inning. So next batter going to step in for Guerin Catholic. Sixth hitter, number 17, Grant Beard. Grant Beard steps in 16 games, 53 plate appearances, 45 at bat, 267 batting average in that right batter's box, a 377 on base. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, full swing, out in front of the first batter, out there by the pitcher's rubber. Coming off the mound to the right, and I'm fielding the baseball was Gus Stanberg. He throws a strike to first base, and the out's recorded with Caden Keller. So a quick second out here in the top of the third. And getting ready to bat for a second time, number 23, Luke Grimmelspacher. He's the first baseman. Luke Grimmelspacher. He's played in 12 games, according to my notes. He's batting 364. It comes in just outside ball one. Grimmelspacher in 12 games, 14 plate appearances, 11 at bat. Got a 500 on base percentage. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Strike called. So 1 ball, 1 strike, according to the scoreboard. My ear. Here comes the wind and the pitch from Sandberg. Swung on, full swing. You're going to get the umpire. And he's going to jog around right there. Might have got him on the shoe, maybe the toe. Those type of umpire shoes, a lot of them wear the steel toes. And he's walking good. I think he got the steel toe. So Isaiah Hopkins obliges the umpire. He walks out. He delivers the baseball to Gus Sandberg, giving the umpire a little bit of time there to shake it off. He's ready to go. Hands on the hips. Umpire. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Grimmelspacher. Working from the windup, Gus Sandberg. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. Got the dish. Going to set him down looking. And the Knights get out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down. And Guerin Catholic comes up with a scoreless inning. Top of the third. And after 2.5, Guerin Catholic 6, Central Catholic 0. And again, we'll also mention this game is in parts. Being brought to you by Lisa Stokes Bear, Century 21. You can let Lisa look or let Lisa list. Lisa specializes in residential and corporate relocations. Lisa now does complimentary staging. What that is, she'll list your home, she'll set a time for you, and she'll go in, she'll clean your home, get it spick and span, making it look like it came out of a magazine. She'll go outside, adjust your lawn, and then you'll be ready for open houses. And Lisa will help you sell your home quicker. To contact Lisa Stokes Bear by phone or text message, dial her at 317 513 4086. Again, her number is 317 513 4086. That's Lisa Stokes Bear. So, stepping into bat, we'll mention the catcher for Guerin Catholic is Carson Kale, where's number 11. At first base, number 23, Luke Grimmelspacher. At second base, number 12, Ben Canada. At shortstop, number 10, Carson Smith. At third base, number 4, Nolan Ratcliffe. In left field, number 17, Grant Beard. Ian Taylor wears number 3. He's in center field. And in right field, number 5, Liam Zorger. Stepping into bat for the night. Bottom of the third is Coy Gick. First pitch to Gick. High and tight, ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Coy Gick steps back in. Here's the pitch. High and tight again, ball 2. He is bringing the fastball. They would call these brushback in the MLB, but these are not purposely thrown, I'm sure, by Hawk. Here comes the 2-0. Strike called right down meridian. 2 balls, 1 strike to Coy Gick. 9-hitter wears number 2 for the Knights. Plays center field. Working out the windup. Here comes the wind. Here comes the pitch. High and tight above the zone. Ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Coy Gick on the season. He has drawn 3 base on balls thus far this season. That's in 18 games. 3 balls, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at a signal. Out of the windup, here comes the 3-1. We call that a strike. Thought that was maybe above the zone. Home plate umpire thought differently. Count goes 3-2. 3-2 count to Gick. Here comes the wide. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. He'll go down swinging, and there's 1 out on the Knights here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. So stepping in, we're going to see him bat for the 2nd time. Isaiah Hopkins. Isaiah Hopkins had a pretty good at bat in his first at bat. It was a quality at bat. I would guess maybe 10 pitches. He showed the dugout. That's part of the requisition for the leadoff batter on a team. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in, strike called. No balls, 1 strike. Isaiah Hopkins, he's played in all 19 games, 70 plate appearances, 50 at bats. He's batting .380. And here comes the pitch. Low for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Isaiah, he's got a .543 on base percentage, 19 hits, 13 singles, 5 doubles. He has no triples. He has 1 home run. As a catcher-pitcher meeting breaks up at the pitcher's rubber, Carson Kale, the catcher for Guerin Catholic. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's 1 out. Bottom of the 3rd. Looking out of the windup. Here comes the pitch. Across the dish, strike call. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Isaiah Hopkins steps back in. Back in the rubber, Harrison Hawk. We call a timeout. Timeout called by Isaiah Hopkins. Hawk taking some time there on the pitcher's rubber. We'll step back in. 1 ball, 2 strike. Peering in, looking at the signal. Working out of the wind. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I tell you what, I saw Isaiah Hopkins right after game 1 this morning. He was in the cage over here hitting off a tee. The guy is dedicated. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Working out of the wind, Harrison Hawk. Here comes the pitch. High above the zone, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out. Bottom of the 3rd inning. The 6-0 contest. Guerin Catholic got 4 in the 1st and 2 in the 2nd. Working out wind up. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Foul ball, right side. He's going to get the net. And he'll stay in the box with the 2-2 count. Isaiah Hopkins wears number 34, is a member of the junior class. 205. He's put a good bat. 2-2 count. Working out of the windup. Harrison Hawk. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside. Good block. Good backhand block on the short hop. Carson Gale, the catcher, and the count goes full at 3-2. And Isaiah Hopkins, another quality at bat, his second time through. So 3-2 Gale, one out, nobody on base. Working out the windup, Harrison Hawk. Here comes the wind. Here comes the pitch. They're going to strike him out. They're going to say it just below the kneecaps, down meridian. So he'll go down looking, and there are two outs here in the bottom of the third inning. So stepping in for the Knights, two-hitter, number 3, L.J. Whitford. Shortstop, L.J. Whitford. He's played in all 19 games, 77 plate appearances, 60 at-bats. He's batting .250 with a .382 on base. First pitch, low for ball one. One ball, no strikes. L.J. Whitford has 15 hits on the season. He's got 11 singles, 3 doubles, and 1 home run. Here comes a wind in the pitch. Strike called, outside edge. It goes 1-1 to Whitford leads the team in runs scored with 23 runs. Here comes the pitch. High and tight. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs. Stepping back in, right-handed batter. L.J. Whitford, a member of the sophomore class. Working out the windup. Guerin in. Here comes the wind. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swung on to pick the right field. Going to back up the right fielder. That's Liam Zorger. And he'll make the catch. So the Knights are out of the inning. Nobody on base. The Knights come up with no run. In the bottom of the third, we'll go to the top of the fourth inning. After 3 complete, Guerin Catholic 6, Central Catholic 0. And we'll also mention this game is being brought to you in part by Robin's Nest. Robin's Nest, that's Thorntown Cozy Coffee Cafe. Robin's Nest, you can reach them by phone at 765-592-1530. That's Robin Warnoff and her husband, Eric. Robin's Nest. They have coffee, but they have hot food, morning food right there for breakfast and also for lunch. They are not open for dinner. They also have private event rental space available, and they can provide you with catering. If you want to have a party or get together, maybe a reunion, plenty of room inside. If it's going to rain, you're safe. They're located at 102 West Main Street, Thorntown, Indiana, 46071. And then on right there on the Gmail, you can find them at Robin's Nest Cafe at gmail.com. Robin's Nest Cafe at gmail.com. It's Robin's with a Z. So stepping in. Going to bat for Guerin Catholic. It's going to be number 9, the 8 hitter, Bryce Pitzel, the DH in the ball game. Open stand. First pitch. We've got Sandberg, breaking pitch. Finishes just high. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Bryce Pitzel steps back in. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, foul back to the screen. Count goes 1-1. Pitzel, I have 10 game stats for him. 14 plate appearances, 12 at bat. His on base percentage is .286. Here comes the wind. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Sandberg. That's going to be a hit by pitch. So a little tight right there in that right-handed batter's box. Bryce Pitzel jogs down to first base. So Pitzel's going to get a pinch runner. Pitzel is the DH. Jogging out. We're going to run for him. Maybe because of the hit by pitch. Coach Schrag gives him a hand clap. And there's one aboard for Guerin Catholic with nobody out. Stepping in, left-handed batter. Number 5, Liam Dorger. Out of set, here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Working from the stretch, peering in, looking at signal. Gus Sandberg looks at first base out of the stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. They call that a strike. Outside edge. Count goes 1-1. One ball, one strike. Looking for signal. Gus Sandberg. Pretty good lead there at first base for the pinch runner. Capture his number, hopefully in a moment. Pitch comes in outside low. Ball two. 2 balls, one strike. Left-handed batter, number 5, Liam Gorger, right fielder. Out of set position. Gus Stanford, pickoff move. First base. Tag applied. Right there by Keller, but back safely. So stepping back in the rubber. Looks over at first. Now the set position. Here's the pitch. Going to get by the wickets. Going to go back to the backstop. Isaiah Hopkins. Going to try to get third base, and he'll go from first to third in the misplayed baseball. So they're going to call timeout. Home plate umpire is going to send him back to second base. Send him back to second base. I'll have to think on that one. But he was at third. He goes back to second. And Isaiah Hopkins having more difficulty with that speaker for his ear. Coach Bourdonnais going to help him out right there. So they send him back to second base. It's a 3-1 kill. Liam Zorger is the batter. And a pinch runner out at second base. And I think, trying to capture that, I believe it's number 8. Again, that's Brody Kane, junior class member. And we'll resume right here. Stepping in, number 5, Liam Dorger. Brady Kane at second base. Number 8, according to my calculation with this iPhone and binoculars that they provide. So timeout called. A lot of concentration time right there. Granted, to Liam Zorger, he'll step back in. 3-1 kill. Alex set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Zorger, the runner at second base for Guerin Catholic. Nobody out. Top of the 4th inning. Out of the set position. Here comes the 3-2. Swung on, foul tip, caught. In the glove, Isaiah Hopkins. Hanging tight. Full swing tip in the gloves equals a strikeout, and there's 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. So stepping in for the 3rd time, going to be number 4, Nolan Ratcliffe, leadoff batter for Guerin Catholic. He's batting .259, a .391 on base percentage. Out of set, Gus Sandberg, he'll pirouette, step towards second, doesn't make a throw. Holding him on, hovering around second base, is the shortstop, L.J. Whitford. So peering in, looking at signals, out of the stretch. Nolan Radcliffe, the batter, right-handed batter. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in high, above the zone, ball 1. So 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Top of the 4th inning. Runner at second base for Guerin Catholic. Here comes the pitch, breaking pitch, perfectly placed by Gus Sandberg. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peering in, looking for signal. Out of the stretch, now the set. He'll check second base a couple of times. Here's the pitch. High and tight for a ball. Count goes 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Nolan Radcliffe, third baseman for the Golden Eagle. Runner at second base. There's 1 out. Out of set for Sandberg. Here's the pitch. Swung on. He'll foul it back to the screen. So they correct the scoreboard. It's now 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Nolan Radcliffe one hitter. He lead off batter in this game. He's got 14 hits, 13 are singles. He has one double. Here comes the pitch. Outside a ball and a snap throw to second base. No tag applied. Off the bag there pretty well was Brady Kane. Excuse me, Brody. Brody Kane, number 8. 3-2 count, 1 out. Got Stanberg out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Swung on to take a shot to left field, pretty much right at Brennan Van Kirk. Van Kirk makes the catch. There are 2 outs. So pretty good solid hit off the bat right there for Nolan Radcliffe. A 3-2 pitch to left field and caught by Brennan Van Kirk. So stepping in, number 12, 2-hitter, Ben Canada, second baseman, left-handed batter. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in, inside edge, called strike. No balls, 1 strike. Peering in, looking at signals. Gus Stanberg out of the set. He'll check second base a couple of times. Here's the pitch. Swung on. Be popped up on the infield. Called for by L.J. Whitford. And he'll catch it just out on the lip of the grass. And the Knights get out of the inning. Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles lead 1 aboard. They come up with no runs at the top of the 4th after 3.5. Guerin Catholic 6, Central Catholic 0. And we'll also mention today's ball game is in part being brought to you by Camino and Company. We welcome you and your patronage at Camino and Company, the mobile flower shop and wedding studio based in downtown Noblesville. You'll find Camino and Company on the north side of the courthouse square at 876 Logan Street. Camino and Company started with a dream and grew with the love of our local community. That same love for stories and celebrations now lives in Camino Coffee. Camino Coffee, your coffee with a story. Every cup is inspired by our founder's grandpa's 1984 El Camino, where Camino and Company gets its name from. Our coffee is locally roasted and by our friends at Noble Coffee and Tea. Each cup carries a little piece of our journey, along with our community and our belief that coffee always comes with a story. So, regardless if it's morning, afternoon, or just a moment you need to pause, you can get your cup just a click away right there at CaminoCoffee.com. That's CaminoCoffee.com. You'll be glad you did. So, Knights are going to step in. The bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning. First batter going to step in is going to be number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer on the season in 19 games, 73 plate appearances, 55 at bats. He's batting .418 with a .542 on base percentage. As mentioned, he leads the team with 23 hits. So back on the pitcher's rubber, Harrison Hawk. So left-handed batter. Hawk, here's the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Alex Schumer, here comes the pitch. It's checky swing. It comes in a bit high, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Harrison Hawk back in the rubber. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Going to call that a strike, outside edge. 2-1 count to Alex Schumer. Here comes the pitch. High and outside, ball 3. Alex Schumer on the season has 15 base on balls. That also leads the night. Working out the wide. Here comes the pitch. Pitch comes in outside half. Strike called. Count goes full. Full count. 3-2 count to Alex Schumer. Working out the wide. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 4. Alex Schumer draws a walk, and we now have 16 base on balls this season. The next batter going to step in for the night, number 30, Gus Sandberg. Gus Sandberg, he's the DH. He's batting in place of Vince Talenko, right fielder. Gus Sandberg going to step in 17 games, 57 plate appearances, 50 at bats. First pitch out of stretch. Here comes the pitch. Going to foul this one straight back out of play. Gus Sandberg, he has a batting average of 260 in that right-handed batter's box, a 351 on base percentage. So signals given. Coach Bourdonnais, third base coach. Getting a lead at first base is Alex Schumer. No balls, one strike. Out of set position, pickoff move. First base, no tag applied by Grimmelsbacher. Back safely is Schumer. No balls, one strike. Straightaway stand. Four hitter for the night. Out of set position. Harrison Hawk. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. No balls, two strikes. Hawk is bringing the fastball. Runner at first base for the ninth. We're in the bottom of the fourth inning. It's a 6-0 contest. Guerin Catholic in front. Out of set position. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Outside, well outside. Good block there. Good stop, I should say, by Carson Kale. Catcher for the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagle. Count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Bottom of the fourth inning. Out of set position. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch outside. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Step off the back. Walk out in the grass. Get some rosin bag. Harrison Hawk, senior class member, pitcher for Guerin Catholic. The timeout called. Timeout called by Gus Sandberg. He's going to walk down the third baseline, foul territory. And then Coach Bourdonnais wants a little bit of a conversation right there with the home plate umpire. So 2-2 count, nobody out. Knights have a runner at first base. That runner at first base is Alex Schumer. The night had set in. It's dark. These lights work well. And the flag is just kind of draping straight down. And Coach Schrag for Guerin Catholic going to walk out of the dugout. You're going to have a meeting of the minds right there at the pitcher's rub. And I will also mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Fritz and Fishers. Fritz and Fishers and Fritz in Noblesville. You know, they buy cars. They're also celebrating 43 years in the car business. It's right there in the heart of the Nickel Plate District. They have late model cars and trucks. Each vehicle has to pass a pre-delivery inspection. They have 2 Hamilton County locations. One is Fritz in Fishers at 8599 East 116th Street. Dial them there at 317-842-2228. And Noblesville, right there on 32. Dial them up there at 317-773-2232. Go back to live action. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Out of set position. Here's the pitch. Foul ball back to the net. So he'll stay in that box at 2-2 count. Alex Schumer, the lone runner at the moment for the night at first base. 2-2 count. Nobody out. Out of set position. Harrison Hawk, here's the pitch. Going to fight this one off. Foul ball, right side. It's going to go out of play. Right there on the deck. Right there, my coach, Tim Bourdonnais' mother and father, Liz and Terry. Stepping back in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're now stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Going to fight another one off. It's going to go out of play. It's going to end up on the football field. So might need a baseball replenishment. And they are. They're going to throw one back out. A.J. Bourdonnais throws the strike to the pitcher, Harrison Hawk. So ball in play. 2-2. Ball's made live. Runner at first base, Alex Schumer. Nobody out. Bottom of the fourth inning. Got Stanberg in the batter's box. Working out a stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the pitch from Harrison Hawk. Foul tip in the glove, and it's caught by Carson Cale. So he'll go down swinging. There's one out. One out here on the diamond, stepping in for the Knights. It's going to be number 11, Mikey Stapleton. Mikey Stapleton, right-handed batter. Peering in, looking at signals out of stretch. Is Harrison Hawk. Runner at first base for the Knights is Alex Schumer. Out of set position. Pickoff move. Nonchalant. First base. And they'll get the ball back. Right-handed batter. And peering in, looking at signal. Harrison Hawk. Here comes the pitch. High above the zone, ball one. One ball, no strikes. There's one out. Bottom of the fourth inning. Knights have one aboard at first base, infield. Playing regular depth. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. One ball, one strike. Mikey Stapleton. In 19 games, he's batting .370 with a .453 on-base percentage. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Hawk. Pitch comes in above the zone, ball two. Two balls, one strike, one out. Outfield playing deep. In left field, right field a bit shallow. Center field about the same. Out of set position, here comes the 2-1 count pitch. Well above the zone, ball three. And that was a fastball. So coming out of the crouch right there was Carson Cale to catch that baseball. That baseball was moving, I would guess 85, maybe plus. 3-1 count. Stapleton, here comes the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. Checky's swing, and he got the ball off the bat. It's going to be a foul ball. Count goes 3-2 to Mikey Stapleton. Mikey Stapleton has 10 base on balls this season. He has 20 hits on the season. Here's the pitch. He'll foul this one back to the screen. So Mikey Stapleton staying alive in that batter's. Mikey Stapleton in 20 hits, 15 are singles, 3 doubles, and 2 triples. And that leads the team. So peering in, looking at singles out of the stretch. 3-2 count, out of the set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, he'll pop this one out of play, straight back. So Mikey Stapleton staying alive in that right-handed batter's box. He has 11 RBI. He has scored 14 runs. So they get a different ball in the ball game. 3-2 count, one out. Runner at first base for the night. Peering in, looking at signals out of the stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the 3-2. Outside and low. Ball four. The jogging down to second base is Alex Schumer. The first base is Mikey Stapleton. Knights have 2 aboard with 1 out. Knights are going to step in with number 21, Caden Keller. Caden Keller has played in 19 games, all 19. 53 plate appearances, 46 at-bats. He's batting .370. Left-handed batter. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball one. Caden Keller. Caden Keller had 3 home runs on the season. Couldn't be a better opportune moment for Keller. Working out a stretch. Now the set. He'll check second base. Here's the pitch. Healthy cut. Swing and a miss. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Keller on base percentage, .453. 17 hits, 10 are singles, 4 are doubles, and 3 home runs. Here comes the pitch. Going to take one the other way, left field. Going to back up the left fielder, Grant Beard. He's going to make the catch. And the Knights elect not to tag up. And there's 2 outs on the diamond. So runners at first and second base. 2 outs. Stepping into bat for the Knights, number 41, Brennan Van Kirk. Brennan Van Kirk, he's played in all 19 games, 64 plate appearances, 56 at-bats, batting .357. That right-handed batter's box is on base. Percentage is .422. He has 20 hits, 18 singles, and 2 doubles. We're going to now stretch. Now the set. He'll check second base. Check it again. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Fastball. Right down meridian. Swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Brennan Van Kirk. He has 13 RBI. He has scored 17 runs. Now the set. Harrison Hawk, a position umpire, notices a baseball out of the dugout over third base area. It was a bullpen baseball that rolled on down. So bullpen activity in the left field line for Guerin Catholic. So no balls, 1 strike to Brennan Van Kirk. Out of the set, Harrison Hawk. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 foot in the box, 1 foot out. No signals given. Peering in, looking at signals, out of stretch. Long peer, now a set position. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. Snap throw to second base. Taken off during the throw. Going to stay safe at second base. Alex Schumer got by the tag. We had a snap throw to second base from catcher Carson Cale. He went ahead and made the throw, but right on the moment of the snap throw, with the lead at second base, Alex Schumer elected to take off for third base. He slid in, avoided the tag, the right side of the base. They placed the tag on him, but Nolan Radcliffe couldn't get the out. And they're going to be an umpire meeting right here of some sort. Coach Schrag alerted the umpires to a certain situation. What that is, I do not know. And I'm sure he had a right, and he knows what he's doing. For sure he does, and they're going to talk about it. And they get together. Now they're separating again, going through their respective positions. A position, umpire behind first base. B position, umpire between the pitcher's mound and third base, deep in the grass right there on the front grass on the infield. So the count's 2-1, 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Runners at first and third base for the Knights, and Carson Cale steps out in front of the plate and gives some signals to his infield. They adjust the scoreboard. 2-2 count. 2-2, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning. Working from a stretch, Harrison Hawk in the batter's box. Taking off for second early. He'll step off the back. They'll try to get the out. They'll try to score a run. They're going to make the throw to the plate. It's off target. And safe at home plate is Alex Schumer. Knights put a run on the scoreboard. And going ahead and going to take second base, Mikey Stapleton. So Mikey Stapleton, pretty good run right there. Kept everything still intact. And about that time, Alex Schumer took off for home plate. They made a quick throw to the plate. And safe at home is Alex Schumer. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mikey Stapleton now at second base. Out of set position, Harrison Hawk. Here's the pitch. Pitch comes in. Fastball right across the dish. Strike 3. He'll go down looking. Knights pick up 1 run here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So we've played 4 complete. And after 4, Guerin Catholic 6, Central Catholic 1. And again, we thank you for listening. And I will mention this game is also in parts being brought to you by Discount Copies. Discount Copies. They are conveniently located at the west edge of Noblesville, Indiana. That's 46062. They're just behind Pizza Hut and next to Bowl 32. That's along State Road 32. At Discount Copies, they provide setup services where you can turn your artwork into things such as note cards, notepads, prints, and calendars. And it's never too early to think about personalized Christmas cards. They've got posters and oversized printing also available. And if you're planning a wedding, they can help you meet all of your wedding printed needs. Call them at 317 773 8783 or by Gmail, it's discountcopies96 at gmail.com. So, first batter here in the top of the fifth inning, going to be number 3, Ian Taylor. Ian Taylor, a bit of an open stance. First pitch out of the windup from Sandberg. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. No balls, one strike to Taylor. Here comes the wind. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. 2 strikes to Taylor. So no balls, 2 strikes. Working out of the windup, Gus Sandberg. Here comes the pitch. Low for ball 1. It's short hop block right there by Isaiah Hopkins. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ian Taylor. Senior facing a senior pitcher and the batter. Here's the pitch. Going to take one to right field, right center. Going to back up the center fielder. Going to look at it, and it's going to go out of here. Ian Taylor put some pretty good muscle into that one. Went to right center field, 365, and Ian Taylor has 1 home run, at least 1 home run. This game's not over. 1 home run in each game here today at Central Catholic. And Ian Taylor picks up home run number 9 on the season. And now, as a team collectively, they now have 28 home runs. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, foul ball, back to the screen. No balls, 1 strike. So 0-1 count, stepping in. That's Carson Kale, number 11, the catcher for the Golden Eagles. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Pitch comes in, outside edge, strike call. No balls, 2 strikes. Peering in, glove, they're below the chin. He'll step up the back. He'll reset. Get a new signal from Hopkins. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Gonna get by the glove, goes back to the backstop. It's a 1-2 count. Isaiah Hopkins, he's the type of guy that tracked down that loose ball. It got by his glove. It's the kind of guy he is. So, timeout on the diamond. Isaiah Hopkins, maybe his earpiece not quite working. I came out of the ear there on his speaker in the ear. But I'm getting ready for more baseball. Ball's in play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the wind. Carson Kale, the batter. Low for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carson Kale, the 4-hitter. He's batting .553. And that's in 38 at bats. Here's the pitch. Outside a ball. Count goes 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Top of the 5th inning, 1 run in. Home run from Ian Taylor. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball. Shortstop, L.J. Whitford. A short hop to the glove, and they're going to get him. Out at first, nice glove by Caden Keller. That's just one thing about a first baseman. First baseman has to have a glove. He needs to erase a throwing error And that's what we just saw there from L.J. Whitford. But Caden Keller on the top saved the baseball, got the out. So 1 out. Stepping in, Carson Smith. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Foul ball back to the backstop. No balls, 1 strike. Carson Smith in 17 games, 61 plate appearance, 51 at bat. He's batting 373 in that right-handed batter's box, 459 on base percentage. Carson Smith, a member of the senior class, a right-handed batter. So here comes the 0-1 from Sandberg. Breaking pitch, got the dish. Strike called. Count goes 0-2. 0-2 count. There's 1 out. Top of the fifth. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Going to take one to right field. Going to come in a little distance and make the catch in right field. And there are 2 out. And catch made by Vince Kalenko, junior class member. Kalenko in right field. He's 6'1", 190. I take that back. He's a senior. He's a senior. Time gets by you real quick, but he's a senior class member. Kalenko, 2 outs. Stepping in. Grant Beard. First pitch taken for a strike. No balls, 1 strike to Beard. Beard batting 267. That right-handed batter's box. That's with 45 at bat. You got a 377 on base percentage. 12 hits, 7 are singles, 3 doubles, and 2 home runs. And he'll take a shot to left field. Going to back up Brennan Van Kirk, almost turn him around, and he'll make the catch at the warning track. Pretty solid hit baseball by Grant Beard, caught for out number 3. So 1 run in on the home run from Ian Taylor, his 9th home run on the season. So they come up with 1. And after 4.5, Guerin Catholic 7, Central Catholic 1. Now that he hit that home run, I wrote these notes down. I'm going to mention home run leader, national home run leader, high school baseball. At number 1, it's Martin Sheeler. Martin Sheeler, he's a senior in 33 games. He's batting 506, 118 plate appearances, 89 at bat. He's only struck out 8 times. He's been to the plate 118 times, 89 at bat. Martin Sheeler, he's got 45 hits on the season. 25 are singles, 7 are doubles. He has 2 triples. And the home run leader in the nation, that's Martin Shaler. He has 19 home runs. He got 53 RBI. He only plays baseball. He wears number 9. And just like Ian Taylor, he plays center field. The home plate umpire, conversation with the pitcher, letting him pick the baseball he'd like to have in his arsenal. And the Knights are going to send to the plate left-handed batter, Jonah Gerke. Jonah Gerke going to bat in the 8th spot. On deck, we're going to see Chase Hiddle batting second here in the bottom of the 5th. This comes in, strike called. So no balls, 1 strike. How the windup, second pitch, short hops the glove. Carson Kale, everybody's safe. Kale might have got a piece of him. Coach Schrag is going to come out and make sure his catcher is okay. So he's going to walk on out, rightfully so. Carson Kale going to shake it off. Short hop right there. Home plate umpire giving him some time to recoup. So 1 ball, 1 strike, stepping back in. Jonah Gerke. Working out a windup. Harrison Hawk. He'll step off the back. He'll restart. Harrison Hawk peering in. Looking at signal. Here comes the wide and the pitch. Outside, ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike. Left-handed batter, Jonah Gerke. Jonah wears number 14. Here comes the wide. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Another outside, this one low. Ball three. 3 balls, 1 strike. Jonah Gerke, left-handed batter. He has a 250 on base percentage. Out of set, here comes the pitch. Low for ball four. So Jonah Gerke going to jog down to first base. And we're going to see Chase Hiddle step in. Jonah Gerke picks up his second base on balls this season. So we're going to see right-handed batter Chase Hiddle. He's going to bat in the 9 spot. Coy Gick. I'm pretty sure he's probably just going to be a pinch hit. Coy Gick probably go out to center field to the top of the 6, I'm guessing. So right-handed batter Chase Hiddle out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball, checks his swing. They may check a position umpire, but they may not, and they didn't. The 1 ball, no strikes. Let's have Jonah Gerke at first base. It's a 7-1 contest. Guerin Catholic in front. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 aboard, nobody out. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, he's going to pop foul territory. It's going to go out of play. Luke Grimmelsbacher gives it a look. Strike called on the foul ball. Count goes 1-1. So Chase Hiddle going to step back in. He's a member of the sophomore class. He's played in 13 games, pitched is 14. 28 plate appearances, 23 at bat. Chase Hiddle batting 261 in that right-handed batter's box. He has a 393 on base percentage. Here, look at the signals out of stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Full swing. It's going to be a double hit off the bat in the box. Hit it initially, hit the ground, came back up and got his bat. And it's going to be a foul ball. It ended up in fair territory, but it was a foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here and in, looking at the signals. Out of the stretch, now the set. Hawk is going to try to play at first base. No tag applied by Grimmelsbacher. Back safely at first base. Brennan Van Kirk. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Out the set position. Here comes the pitch. Foul ball back to the screen. So we're going to stay in that box with that 1-2 count. Number 44, Chase Hiddle. Right-handed batter's box. Hiddle. 6'3", 205 out of the set position. Harrison Hawk. Here comes the pitch. High above the catcher's glove, and it's going to get by the catcher. Carson Kale, obviously probably going to go in the book. That's a wild pitch. He had to come way out of his crouch in a hurry with an 80-plus mile-an-hour fastball. That's going to be a wild pitch. And taking off, going over to second base is Brennan Van Kirk. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hiddle. Working out the stretch, now the set position. He'll check second. Here's the pitch. High above the zone, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Harrison Hawk still bringing the fastball. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Peering in, looking at a signal. Out of the set position. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. High for ball 4. So Hiddle sprints to first base. 2 aboard. They're going to bring out a relief pitcher, Coach Schrag. Going to bring out number 6 to do the pitching. He's also a senior. Ben Aho. So Ben Aho is going to come out, get warmed up. Ben Aho, they gave me pronunciation before the game. It is Aho. Ben Aho, he just got 6 letters in both the first and last name. And he's going to come out left-handed pitcher. Ben Aho, he's a sophomore. sophomore pitcher, going to get warmed up as a lefty. And, and a good hand clap, rightfully so, for Harrison Hawk as he gets some late relief here from Aho. And we'll mention Aho on the season. He's got a 3.82 ERA. He's got 7 1/3 innings under his belt. He's got 1 win. He does not have a loss. This is appearance number 6. He's given up 4 hits, 4 runs, and all 4 runs were earned. He has walked only 1 batter. He has struck out 10. He has faced 29 batters this season. He's thrown a total of 99 pitches. So he's going to get some warm-up tosses right there. And we'll also mention this game is in part being brought to you by Scott Gashaw. Scott Gashaw, he lets us know, he says, when time is good, when you share, you should. Share and share alike. Support Indiana middle school and high school athletics. That's Scott Gashaw. He's from Tipton. So they're going to walk out and exchange some notes there, catcher and a pitcher. We'll talk over some signals. Everything's good. So they're getting ready to play again. And we're going to see the one hitter for Central Catholic again, number 34, Isaiah Hopkins. Knights have 2 on board. Nobody out. Bottom of the 5th inning. A 7-1 contest. Guerin Catholic in front. Here it is, signal. Now out of the set. Check second base. Here comes the pitch. He's going to square the bunt. Third baseline is going to go foul. It was a good bunt. It veered left and foul. About like that, I think it was a Houston Astro player blew that ball foul on turf as it was going down the third baseline. And immediately the next year, they made that illegal to blow a ball foul on the third baseline or first. So they put a rule in for that, but that one veered foul. So third base, Nolan Ratcliffe in on the lip of the grass. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, you're going to pop it up on the infield. Be called for by the second baseman, Ben Canada. He'll catch it on the dirt, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. So next batter going to step in for the Knights. It's going to be number 3, L.J. Whitford. Get some signal from Coach Bourdonnais. Step in, right-handed batter. Here and in looking for signal. Alice said, Ben Aho, here's the pitch. Strike called. Die high. Count goes 0-1. 0-1 count to Whitford. Runners at first and second base for Central Catholic. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set. Ben Aho, here's the pitch. Above the zone, ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here and in, looking at the signal. Left-handed pitcher, Ben Aho, going to call time. Now right-handed batter's box, L.J. Whitford. They do have more bullpen activity down the left field line for Guerin Catholic. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Right across the dish, strike call. Count goes 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. On deck for the Knights is Alex Schumer. Out of the set position, checks second base. Couple of times, here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and he'll go down swinging. And there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Getting ready to step in, number 12, Alex Schumer. Alex Schumer batting .418. Now left-handed batter's box. Knights have 2 aboard, first and second base. Ben Aho in relief here. Here comes the pitch. They're going to call that a strike. You got that left-handed arm slot right there at the 2 o'clock, and that angled right across the plate. No balls, one strike. Here comes the second pitch to Schumer. Low for a ball. One ball, one strike. Two out. Alex Schumer, left-handed batters. Two aboard for the night, first and second base. Out of set. Here comes the pitch. Slow curveball there. He took quite a bit off of it. Broke in, got the dish for a strike. Called strike. Count goes 1-2. Here and in, looking to stick. Now the stretch, now the set position. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch. Finished high. Ball two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Bottom of the fifth, 2 aboard for the Knights, first and second. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, he'll foul this one back out of play. In that box again with that 2-2 count. Alex Schumer going to step back in. Here and in, looking to signal. Left-handed pitcher. Ben Aho. He'll check second base out of set. Here's the pitch. Low for a ball, and the count goes full. That's a breaking pitch. Short hop the glove. Good block once again by Carson Kale. The pitcher, the catcher, Meyer. The catcher, and the count goes 3-2. Here and in, looking at signals. Ben Aho. 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Above the zone, ball 4. So that'll load the bases as Alex Schumer jogs over to first base and picks up his second base on balls in this game and his 17th base on balls for the season. So bases loaded, stepping in, 4-hitter. Number 30, Gus Sandberg, designated hitter. Here and in, looking at Stigl, out of the set position. Here comes the pitch. Going to call that a strike. Right down Meridian. Can't see the distance off the surface from here. I would guess that's below the kneecaps, but you got a strike. 0-1 count. Here comes the pitch. Going to call that a strike. Inside half with that angled pitch, lefty, from that 2 o'clock arm slot. So no balls, 2 strikes. Gus Sandberg steps back in. Working from the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Swing and miss. He'll go down swinging. The Knights leave 3 on base. Here in the bottom of the fifth, they come up with no runs. And after 5 completes, Guerin Catholic, Golden Eagles, 7, Central Catholic, Knight, 1. And again, we'll mention tonight's ball game is in part being brought to you by Indiana Beach. Indiana Beach Amusement Park and Water Park. You can go online to indianabeach.com. They're in Monticello, Indiana, Indiana Beach. You can get a season pass, 2026 season pass, for just $77.99. If you're a high schooler, that'd be fun to go several times for $80. That's nothing. Mom and dad, that's a great babysitter. And we'll also mention if you bring last year's season pass in, you can exchange that last year's pass and spend $71.99 and get a new season pass for 2026. They have roller coasters. They have boat rides. You can spend a full day at the water park. They have 50-plus rides and attractions. And yes, there is more than corn in Indiana. Indiana Beach celebrating their 100th anniversary. 100 years of fun, Indiana Beach. They also have KOA campgrounds. You can dial them at 574-583-4141. Stepping in, right-handed batter, Guerin Catholic, first pitch from Sandberg. Swinging and miss. Then the batter's box, first baseman, Luke Grimmelspacher. Luke Grimmelspacher on the season, batting .364. There comes the wind and the pitch. Let's take the drive to right center field. It'll roll on into the glove of Vince Talenko and a base hit. Second pitch here in the top of the 6th for Grimmelspacher. So getting ready to bat. And where's number 8 in the ball game now? Brody Kane. Brody Kane going to bat in the 8th spot. So he'll bat in the 8th spot, right-handed batter, Brody Kane. Brody Kane, he's batting 242. First pitch, going to put a bunt down. Be fielded by the third baseman, Alex Schumer. He'll go to first base. They get the put out. Mission was accomplished right there by Brody Kane. He moves the runner. That's Grimmelspacher. He's at second base. So with one out, stepping in, going to be the 9-hitter, number 5, Liam Zorger. Liam Zorger going to bat here in the top of the 6th inning. 10:01 on the wristwatch. We were talking early about extra innings. We were talking about the Cubs. I think it was the Phillies. Not sure if it was the Phillies, but the Cubs 2 decades ago went 23 innings, one game. It took 14 hours. That was unheard of. Out of set position, Gus Sandberg, here's the pitch. Pitch comes in, strike called. No balls, one strike. Grimmelspacher at second base doing the base running. He got himself aboard with a base hit to right center field. We're going to stretch, now the set. Sandberg, here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Count goes 0-2. Zorger, Liam Zorger on the season, 16 games, batting .333. Left-handed batter's box. Here and in, look at the signals, out of the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. He'll go down swinging, and there's 2 out here in the top of the 6th inning. So we're going to get a pinch hitter in the ball game. You're going to bat for Nolan Ratcliffe in the 1 spot. Stepping into bat, going to be number 13, senior class member, Jackson Baker. Jackson Baker listed as a utility player, right-handed batter. Here and in, looking at signals. Now the stretch, now the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside of ball, good backhand. Short hop. Good stop there by Isaiah Hopkins. So right-handed batters, .333 on base percentage. How the set, here comes the pitch. Swung on, going to foul this one straight back. Count goes 1-1 to Jackson Baker. Jackson Baker. Where's number 13? Get a chance to bat here for Coach Schrag. So peering in, looking at the signal. Gus Sandberg out of the set. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Sandberg. Breaking pitch. He'll take it the right center field and giving it a look there, trying to catch it on the run. Couldn't come up with it. That's going to be a 2-base hit. 2-base hit for Jackson Baker, senior. And he'll get an RBI. Coming in to score from second base is Grimmelspacher. And Jackson Baker now at second base. So stepping in, that left-handed batter, Ben Canada. Ben Canada steps in. A little bit of a close stance on the instep. Out of the set position, Sandberg. First pitch to Canada. Strike called, outside edge. No balls, one strike. Canada, left-handed batter, face it. Gus Sandberg. Out of the set position, check second base. Couple of times, here's the pitch. Gonna call a strike, outside edge. Canada probably didn't want to swing at those, and he didn't. So 0-2 count. Here and in, look at the signals. Out of the set position. And a loose ball from the bullpen. It comes clear back behind home plate. So throwing some velocity there from the bullpen area. I think it's Tatum Adriano. So you're going to step back in. Ben Canada Steps in, 0-2 count. Peering in, looking at the signal. Now the stretch, now the set position. Sandberg, here's the pitch. Outside of ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner at second base is Jackson Baker. Pinch hit double. Out of set position. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch finishes upstairs, just above the zone. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's some fire. I smell some fire somewhere. Right, campfire. Here's the pitch. Outside of ball. Count goes 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ben Canada. Where's number 12? 431 average, batting average in that left-handed box. Here comes the pitch. Inside, ball 4. So Ben Canada jogs down first base. Ben Canada picks up his 3rd base on balls this season. Timeout on the diamond. Coach Bordnay going to walk out. Talk with his infield. And we'll mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Round Tripper. Round Tripper Academy. That's the premier academy for baseball training. That's right there in Westfield, Indiana, not too far away from Grand Park. You can go to roundtripper.com, learn more. And we'll mention the owner at Round Tripper is Chris Estep. Chris Estep is also the head baseball coach at University Trailblazer High School. Round Tripper Sports Academy opened its doors in the fall of 1993. The vision was to become the premier facility for baseball training in central Indiana. 30 years and tens of thousands of student athletes later, they have become a mainstay for elite athletes throughout the Midwest and central Indiana. Their mission has been to help every athlete reach his or her fullest potential. You can send an email. Just go to info@roundtripper.com. Again, info@ the @ symbol, roundtripper.com, or call them 317-896-2900. Again, 317-896-2900. It's Round Tripper Academy right there in Westfield. So Tatum Adriano at the pitcher's rubber now, getting some warm-up tosses. Right-handed pitcher. Tatum on the season has 12 and 2/3 innings under his belt. This is game appearance number 9. He does have 1 start. He has faced 53 batters. He's thrown a total of 199 pitches, 2 wins, no losses. He's allowed 8 hits, 10 runs. 8 of those runs were earned. He has struck out 15 batters. He has struck out 3 of those batters looking, and he's hit 2 batters along the way. So Isaiah Hopkins going to jog out. They'll review their signals as we listen to the danger zone. So 2 out, stepping in for Guerin Catholic. Going to be the 3-hitter. Number 3, Ian Taylor. Last time up, hit 1 out of here, right center field. So 2 aboard for Guerin Catholic. Wow, the stretch, now the set. First pitch from Adriano. Strike called, thigh high, right across the plate. No balls, 1 strike. Ian Taylor last time hit it out with a 2 strikes on him. We're going to now stretch, now the set. Check second base. Checks it again. Here's the 0-1 pitch. First check the swing, the ball low. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. 1 run in here in the 6th for Guerin Catholic. I was set. Here comes the pitch. Inside, way inside. Right there in his right-handed batter's box. Isn't it the fastball? Count goes 2-1. Clearing in, working out the stretch. On the set position. Checks second base. Here comes the 2-1. The short hop the glove. Good catch there by Isaiah Hopkins. Count goes 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. An 8-1 contest. Here in signal, now out of the set position. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. You call it a strike, outside edge. Count goes full at 3-2. Ian Taylor, 18 games, batting average 500, on base percentage 648, 25 hit, 11 singles, 4 doubles, 2 triples, 9 home runs on the season. Pitch comes in low for ball 4. So Ian Taylor going to jog down to first base. It's going to load the bases with 2 outs. Top of the 6th. Next batter going to step in for Guerin Catholic. 5-hitter number 10, Carson Smith. He's the shortstop. Carson Smith in 17 games, 61 plate appearances, 51 at bat. He's batting .373. Right-handed batter. Alice Stead. Here comes a pitch from Adriano. Breaking pitch finishes just high. Must have been just high above the zone. Ball 1. So Carson Smith, 1-0 count, working out a stretch. Tatum Adriano. Now the set. Here comes the pitch. Outside, going to get by the glove. Going to try to take home plate. They'll flip it to the plate. Tatum Adriano couldn't hold it. Nobody guarding the plate there. And 2 runs score for Guerin Catholic. One was for the misplayed baseball. Got by Hopkins. They threw the plate. And then both players went after the baseball. Tatum Adriano and Hopkins left home plate unattended. And Coach Schrag sent a second runner and scored both. So the 10-1 contest, 3 runs in here in the 6th inning for Guerin Catholic. We're going to have a stretch. Now the set. 2-0 count. Here comes the pitch. Going to pop one up, playable. First base side, foul territory. Hayden Keller couldn't grab it. Got the glove, flipped off the glove and got the surface. It's a foul ball. 2-1 count. 2 balls, 1 strike. Base runner at third base, the lone base run is number 3, Ian Taylor. Just stepping back in. 2-1 count, 2 out. Tatum Adriano from the stretch. Now the set position. Here comes the 2-1 pitch from Adriano. Low for a ball. Count goes 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Stepping back in, number 11, Carson Kale. He's the catcher. 3-1 count out of the set position. Tatum Adriano. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. Healthy cut. Healthy fastball. Popping the glove. Count goes 3-2. Carson Kale. Carson Kale batting .553 with 38 at bat. Out of set position. Tatum Adriano. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Just above the zone, ball 4. So Carson Kale jogs down to first base. Guerin Catholic have runners at first and third. So Carson Kale at first base now picks up his 19th based on balls this season. And call timeout as Isaiah Hopkins going to jog out, talk with Tatum just for a moment. So we are in the top of the 6th inning. Central Catholic's bullpen activity down the right field line. They're going to go with a runner, pinch runner. I believe it's 18. He's a junior class member. That's Ashton Sommer. Ashton Sommer is listed as a right-handed pitcher. And as mentioned, he's a junior class member. Ashton Sommer doing the running at first base. He's the courtesy runner for Carson Cale, the catcher. So stepping in, Carson Smith, where's number 10, bases occupied first and third with 2 outs. Out of set position, Tatum Adriano. Here comes the pitch. Breaking pitch. Inside, ball 1. Carson Smith, 5-hitter. Plays shortstop. In 17 games, batting .373. .459 on base percentage. Right-handed batter. Out of set. Tatum Adriano. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Strike called. Count goes 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right-handed batter, straightaway stand. Carson Smith out of stretch. Now the set for Adriano. Here comes the 1-1. Breaking pitch. He'll foul this one out of play. Straight back. So 1 ball, 2 strike. That back in. Carson Smith. Peering in, looking at signals. Out of stretch. Tatum Adriano at first base. Now the set position. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Adriano. Inside and tight, ball 2. Twos are wild on the scoreboard. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 on base for Guerin Catholic, first and third. Peering in, looking at signals. Tatum Adriano checks first base. Now the set position. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Adriano. Swung on, he'll foul another one. Right side, out of play. Carson Smith, the batter for Guerin Catholic. So we'll step back in. Here in, look at signal. 2-2 count again. Carson Smith checks first base. Adriano, now the set position. Here comes the 2-2 again. Smith, breaking pitch. He'll take a drive to left center. It's going to get the gap. It's going to get up against the wall. They're going to score 1 from third base all the way around from first base. Throw it to the plate. Not going to be made. Coming in to score standing up. So Ian Taylor scores a run, and then just behind him, number 18, Ashton Sommer scores a run. And it's a 2-base hit, 2 RBI off the bat of Carson Smith. So 5 runs in here in the top of the 6th. For Guerin Catholic. Runner at second base, Carson Smith. 2 out. Stepping in the back, Grant Beard was number 17. Grant Beard, right-handed batter. I think 267. That right-handed batter's box at .377 on base percentage. Alba set, Adriano took second base. Here's the pitch. Inside and tight. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 count and step back in. Grant Beard for the Golden Eagles. Peering in, looking at the signal. Now out of the set position. Tatum Adriano. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, he'll foul this one back out of play. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Grant Beard. Grant Beard on the season. 12 hits, 7 singles, 3 doubles, and 2 home runs. Out of set position, Tatum Adriano. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, foul tip. Got in the glove. Way to hang there. That was Isaiah Hopkins. Just the second strike, but well done. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 out. Peering in, looking at signal. Tatum, Adriano. Long Pierre now out of the set. He'll check second base. They'll hover. They'll hold him on. Here comes the pitch. High and tight for ball two. So Grant Beard, left fielder, in the batter's box. Grant Beard has 14 RBI on the season. Out of set position, Tatum Adriano. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Breaking pitch. Didn't get the break he was wanting. Inside, ball three. 3-2 count. Grant Beard. Guerin Catholic, one runner aboard at second base. Carson Smith out of set position. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. And the Knights get out of the inning. Guerin Catholic score 5 runs. In the top of the 6th, they leave one runner on base. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Guerin Catholic, 12. Central Catholic, 1. We'll also mention this game is in parts being brought to you by Camino and Company. Camino and Company, you can reach them online at Camino-and-Company.com. I'm getting some warm-up tosses there. We might have another hurler. We'll mention Camino and Company, a mobile flower shop brought to you by local flower farmers and providers. They have small business partners and the CNC founders. Their mascot is a 1984 El Camino SS, which belongs to Carly Witham Elbrett. She's the owner of Camino and Company. That El Camino belongs to her grandpa, D.E. Witham. We'll mention the goal at Camino and Company is to please each customer from their concepts to the Camino and Company completion. You can explore their website at Camino-and-Company.com. They are now booking 2026 brides. So they're getting warmed up out on the surface. Guerin Catholic, they put on the pitcher's mound number 2, Colton Price, right-handed pitcher. He's a junior class member. He's got an ERA of 2.10. He's got 6 2/3 under his belt. He's got 1 win, no losses. This is appearance number 8. Here comes the first pitch. Breaking pitch in there for a strike. In the batter's box is Mikey Stapleton. Number 2, Colton Price. Here comes the second pitch to Stapleton. Strike 2. Colton Price has allowed 8 hits, 2 runs. 2 of those runs were earned. He's walked 1. He struck out 6. He's thrown 28 batters, 76 pitches. He has a 0-2 count to Stapleton, and Stapleton going to full swing, foul ball. It'll end up out in front of the dugout of Guerin Catholic. So 2 feet on the rubber, pitching from the windup. No balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, ground ball up the middle. Couldn't be grabbed there. That was shortstop Carson Smith trying to make the play. That'll be questionable, whether it's a hit, an infield hit, or reached on air. That won't be for me to tell. I'll find out in the stat sheet. So 1 aboard for Central Catholic is Mikey Stapleton. Stepping into that for the Knights, number 21, Caden Keller. So working from the red, now out of the stat position. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Colton Price pitching here in the bottom of the 6th inning. He'll peer in, look for signal. Looking out stretch, now it's set. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Breaking pitch, backdoor curveball, in there for a strike. Down goes 0-2. Caden Keller. Out stretch, now a set position. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, ground ball, second base, Ben Canada. They'll get the play at first. They'll get the out. There's one out. And reaching second base is Mikey Stapleton. So the next batter for the Knights going to step in, Brennan Van Kirk. Brennan Van Kirk with one out on the diamond. Mikey Stapleton at second base in scoring position. Right-handed batter's box to step in, Brennan Van Kirk. And now it's stretch. Now it's set. Price. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch. Nicely placed. Strike call. Golden Price. Here in, look at the tables. He works quick on the pitcher's rubber. He's a junior class member. Out of set, here comes the pitch. This comes in low. Ball one. One ball, one strike to Brennan Van Kirk. Van Kirk, he's played in every game. He's batting .357. That right-handed box. Stepping off the back of the rubber is Price. Now you step back in. Here in, look for signal. Out of set position, I'll check second base. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. The Van Kirk. Swung on, he's going to pop it to center field. Going to move through his right. Come in just a bit. Ian Taylor makes the catch. And there are two outs. So two outs still. Runner at second base is Mikey Stapleton. Reds are going to step in. They're going to put in the batter's box right here. Going to be number 18, Chase Roos. Chase Roos on the bat. He's a junior class member. 6'1", 175, listed as a pitcher and a first baseman. He bats right. Out of set position. Golden Price, second base. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch, swing and a miss. Chase Roos on the season. This is his 13th game he's appeared in offensively. 19 plate appearances, 17 at bat. He's got 2 hits. Both are singles. Here comes the pitch. Outside in, strike call. Count goes 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. One aboard, second base. That's Mikey Staples. 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, swing and a miss. And that's going to complete today's game in 6 innings. Guerin Catholic, Golden Eagles, 12. Central Catholic Knights, 1. Guerin Catholic wins the 2026 Catholic Classic, an annual event right here at Central Catholic, Gordon Lemming Field. So it'll provide some hardware. I think Charlie Roberts, assistant athletic director, bring some hardware into the field surface, and he's probably going to give that to Coach Schrag. We do thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that, and we'll mention the Knights are going to play again. They'll play on Tuesday. They'll have the Tipton Blue Devils right here on Tuesday here at Central Catholic. And Central Catholic and Tipton. They don't play very often. But Tipton had a good win. Well, their last outing was versus Kokomo. Tipton beat Kokomo, so anything can happen. So we thank you for tuning in. We're going to talk to Coach Bourdonnais here in just a moment. They're going to give away this hardware. We'll set this down, and we'll remind you that no matter if you're home or away, if you're doing the teaching and the learning, don't let it go. Keep the fire burning. And before I bow out here to talk to Coach, next game on the agenda for Guerin Catholic is going to be Wednesday. It's coming Wednesday the 13th, 5:30 start. Guerin Catholic will be at the Lapel Bulldogs. We're in post game right now. I'm going to talk to Coach Bourdonnais. I tell you what, Coach Bourdonnais, after yesterday's weather, this was a beautiful day.
Yeah, it sure was. We had four good clubs in here and some good baseball. Unfortunately, we just couldn't get much going tonight. You got to give it to their starting pitcher. I mean, he threw hard and was able to kind of get it by us. And so sometimes you tip your cap, and they're a really really good club. Their lineup 1 through 9 can do a lot of damage, and they're hard to keep down, and that proved to be true tonight.
Guerin Catholic, a 3A school, they can make a lot of noise in the postseason.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, their pitching staff is deep, and they've got a couple of the best pitchers in the state, and a lineup that's just solid 1 through 9. So yeah, they're a really really good club, and you have to tip your hat to them, and they deserve to win tonight.
Coach, you're going to have a home game and Tipton Blue Devils on Tuesday.
We're excited to get back at it, get this taste out of our mouth, and we're heading into the home stretch of the season, gearing up for the postseason, and that's what we're playing for, and that's why we like to play good teams like this and good pitchers to get us ready for the postseason.